Item: SCP-1222. Codename: Stasis Box. Object Class: Safe. Special Containment Procedures: SCP-1222 is to be locked in a 60 x 60 x 60 cm hard plastic container with foam in a lining to hold it in place. Container can be found inside locker in the storage area of Site 4. If container is damaged in any way, contact administration for replacement. Personnel with Level 1 clearance or higher may access the object for research purposes. If not used for testing, linseed oil must be rubbed into SCP-1222 for preservation purposes once annually. Linseed oil must also be used after all research tests. Description: SCP-1222 is a bamboo box, decorated with beads and shells, and measuring 7 x 10 x 10 cm. A lid is attached and held together by a woven thread made of palm fronds. Any human who touches the box with both hands and gazes at its bottom will instantly enter a state of stasis, in which they cannot be repositioned or harmed by any means known to the Foundation. Any human in this condition is to be classified as SCP-1222-1. This stasis will continue until SCP-1222-1 is touched by the skin of a live human. SCP-1222-1 has no vital signs, respiration, blood pressure, brain activity, and can remain in this condition indefinitely. Removing SCP-1222 from SCP-1222-1's hands, or blocking it from SCP-1222-1's view, does not affect the stasis. However, only one instance of SCP-1222-1 exists at a time. Attempts to successively or simultaneously create multiple instances of SCP-1222-1 have failed. Examination of SCP-1222-1 through latex gloves has revealed that SCP-1222-1's flesh is hard and unyielding. Researchers have described the flesh as being like stone or metal. SCP-1222-1's clothing is unaffected by the stasis and can be damaged normally. However, hair becomes intensely tough and durable. Test log 1222-1. Test SCP-1222-T12. Procedure: SCP-1222-1's head struck with metal rod 32 times. Result: no damage to SCP-1222-1. Rod became warped and dented. Test SCP-1222-T14. Procedure: fired at with a .38 special revolver. Result: the bullet compressed against SCP-1222-1's right earlobe. SCP-1222-1 fell over. Test SCP-1222-T22. Procedure: fired at with an AR-10 rifle using 7.62 x 51 NATO rounds. Result: the bullet shattered against SCP-1222-1's right shoulder. SCP-1222-1 fell over. Test SCP-1222-T30. Procedure: swiped at with 30 cm kitchen knife. Result: knife bounced off. Test SCP-1222-T31. Procedure: stabbed with 30 cm kitchen knife. Result: knife broke. Test SCP-1222-T50. Procedure: fluoroantimonic acid poured onto SCP-1222-1's back. Result: acid seeped off of the subject and into the glass container beneath. Test SCP-1222-T53. Procedure: partially submerged in fluoroantimonic acid. Result: subject was asked to hold SCP-1222 above the head while entering stasis. Subject was lowered into a glass container 2 meters tall with 1 meter filled with fluoroantimonic acid. Test was conducted with safety measure to ensure no damage to SCP-1222 would occur. After 2 weeks of no reported changes, subject was removed, cleaned, and reawakened. Subject subsequently died due to accumulation of acid in pores of skin and lower cavities. Test SCP-1222-T63. Procedure: petrol ignited. Result: a small quantity of petrol was poured over the subject's lower back and set alight. The area became scorched black with residue, but no visible damage was shown. Note: no further tests involving substances that could harm the box will be used unless under strict supervision of a safety team and Class 3 personnel. This is only to prevent damage to the box and is not a personal attack on any researcher. Test SCP-1222-T68. Procedure: a slap. Result: both a gloved and ungloved slap were given to the test subject. The gloved slap had no effect and managed to topple over the test subject. The ungloved slap immediately awoke the test subject, who shrieked in surprise. When D-Class personnel was asked to describe the feeling of slapping, he replied like putting your hand through paper and immediately hitting flesh. Recovery log: SCP-1222 was found in a village of Nias Island located off the coast from the Sumatra region of Indonesia on November 18, 1984. A rescue team dispatched in the area discovered a dugout chamber beneath debris of a destroyed home. In the middle of the chamber was a Caucasian woman kneeling on the floor with the item in her hands. Report excerpts 1984. We were relieved at first to find a survivor under all the rubble. A single mother had lived there with 2 children and an infant, and all 4 had perished when their home fell. A neighbor had reported that the mother was always talking about a disabled cousin she also cared for, and was worried for the cousin's safety. After inspecting and moving the rubble, we found a hole in the corner of where the sleeping area would have been. The hole went down 2 meters before turning toward an entrance of a small chamber. The man who volunteered to go down called out that he had found a woman in prayer and that she was in shock. He then went to pick her up and take her out when the woman started screaming. When he emerged with her, she was thrashing about and speaking in a language we didn't recognize. She was without a scratch on her body, but her clothes were old and falling apart and a thick layer of dust covered all parts. The woman calmed down after we constrained her and was sent to an emergency medical center set up nearby. Light amnestics were given to all members of the rescue team after receiving the report. The subject's name is, born the 4th of June 18. Agents acquired her at the emergency medical center where she was transported to Site 4. The only item with her was SCP-1222. Subject spoke fluent Dutch that was standard for the 1800s. When questioned about SCP-1222, she went into detail about finding it in a village not far from where she was found, after her father had data expunged, retrieved it from the ashes. Subject was commissioned to D-Class personnel at Site 3. Addendum: future tests are scheduled for use of radiation, destructive bacteria, nanomachines, and SCPs, and various Keter-class SCPs were also considered but decided against due to possibility of the damage or destruction of SCP-1222.